So we heard a little bit of it. Former Vice President Dick Cheney speaking out against President Obama. He says the current White House is tearing down Bush administration policies that prevent terrorist attacks.
In effect, what we've seen happen with respect to the Obama administration as they came to power is they have moved to take down a lot of those policies we put in place that kept the nation safe for nearly 8 years from a follow-on terrorist attack like 9/11.
So is our country less safe? In the Pundit pit today, former pollster for President Clinton, Bernard Whitman, the author of Stealing Elections, and a Wall Street Journal columnist, John Fund, and syndicated columnist Joel Mowbray. Okay, Joel, let me start with you this morning. Dick Cheney in this role, ripping the Obama administration about safety. Is this set up? Is this the Bush administration still in action? Because, as we all know, the vice president usually is the attack dog while you're in office.
This is Dick Cheney still in action. George W. Bush, I think, very much believes in that whole respect and honor the next president ideal that has been adhered to more or less for, at least the past couple generations. And, he does not believe in going after Obama. He believes in giving Obama his fair time in office. As for Cheney, is a man who I think has always spoken his mind and continues to. And look what he says about Powell, the guy he used to be very close to.
John, the idea that Cheney is calling out the Obama administration, these are strong words. He's saying, look, the country is not as safe.
Well, I think Dick Cheney was very upset by the release of those memos on the interrogation techniques. And I think Cheney makes the larger point. Look, if you're going to release those memos, declassify the memos that talk about what the information might have led to, what plots we might have uncovered and prevented. And if the information turned out not to be that important, I'm sure reporters are going to dig in and find that out. But if you can't tell one side of the story, I think that's what Cheney's point is. Tell both sides of the story. I'm waiting for those memos. This is the Transparency Administration. I'm waiting for transparency.
The interesting thing is, Dick Cheney said that and asked for that a couple weeks ago, but now he came back out in more interviews, Bernard, and continues the same message that we are not safe in this country because of the policies that are being turned away now. Your thoughts?
We had a referendum on the Bush-era policies last fall. It was called the election, when John McCain, running as Bush administration 3, was defeated by a huge margin. And I think, honestly, the vice president ought to go back to the undisclosed location that he spent most of the previous administration in, because the American people are sick and tired of hearing from him.
Yeah, but I'm not so sure the American public was voting on terror, though, in this last election. Do you think they were voting on terror or the economy?
I think it was much more the economy, absolutely. But, Bernard's right as far as the administration winning. I don't think Obama's gone completely back on those policies. He's still trying to figure out what he's doing.
And I should note that John McCain both approved of closing Gitmo and was against torture. So Vice President Cheney is both out of step with the American people, out of step with his administration, and out of step with his own party.
John McCain also wants those memos released. Do you want those memos released?
That's up to the administration.
Oh, come on. You have an opinion.
Come on, Bernard.
Come on.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Opinion.
Should they be released or not?
I don't see any reason why they should not be released.
All right.
Let's wait and
you got him, John.
Three votes for transparency.
Okay, we got to go to the commercial break, but we have more with the pit when we come back, because next we're going to discuss the sharp-tongued comedienne Wanda Sykes. She railed at Rush Limbaugh at the Correspondents' Dinner. One member of this panel was there. We're going to get his thoughts first. So how far is too far? President Obama poked fun at his own administration on Saturday night, but when Wanda Sykes took the stage, the comedian, the evening took a different turn.
I think maybe Rush Limbaugh was the 20th hijacker, but he was just so strung out on Oxycontin he missed his flight. I hope the country fails. I hope his kidneys fail. How about that?
So, did Wanda Sykes' jokes about Rush Limbaugh cross the line? We're back in the pit, and I'm turning to the one man of the three who was at this dinner Saturday night, John Fund. You didn't think she was funny at all, did you?
I thought President Obama was funny. I thought he did very well. But then Wanda Sykes came on. Traditionally, the comedian at these dinners is supposed to poke fun at the president. She barely did that. She went after his critics. And boy, I mean, she accused Rush Limbaugh of treason. And then she went on and said he should be waterboarded, plus those comments you just showed. Look, Barack Obama came to town saying, let's change the tone. Let's not have a coarse, vicious debate. Well, I think Wanda Sykes took it way over the top. A lot of people at that dinner were appalled. And The sad thing is Barack Obama laughed through her entire routine, including those lines. I think what the president should have done is, and obviously it had nothing to do with her material, he should have issued a short statement saying, I came to Washington to change the tone. This doesn't change the tone. I hope we do better next year at this dinner.
Bernard, but here's what's going to happen, because this is what happens in the mainstream media. Comedians or comedians say things like this, and then they get brushed aside because they say, oh, we're just a comedic
Did she sound like she sounded serious?
I know. No, I'm just saying that will be the excuse, Bernard.
I think that we're all taking this a little bit too seriously, both on the right and certainly on the left. We've had our moments where we've sort of gotten all crazy in an uproar over a joke. The kidney line was, I agree, was a bit distasteful. The 20th hijacker, frankly, was quite funny. But I think we all just need to relax a little bit. It's a joke, it's a comedy routine, and in this time and era when everybody is so anxious about so many different things, the fact that we can get together in a bipartisan fashion and poke fun of each other is something that we ought to just respect and enjoy, and then once that dinner is over, we can go back to business as normal and attacking each other and being overly...
I was also offended by the kidney line more so than the first one. But, Joel, let me ask you this, because it seems that the Obama administration had sort of pushed Rush Limbaugh up on a platter to begin with as the Republican that everyone should go after. Is that why he found this to be funny?
I think that Rush Limbaugh is the man who's in the briar patch right now. He's laughing all the way to the bank, to add one metaphor on top of the other. He has a career resurgence, the likes of which I don't think anyone could have imagined. The president has made him the de facto voice of the Republican Party. Dick Cheney yesterday said he would side with him over Colin Powell. Wanda Sykes goes after him. Although Wanda Sykes is trying to get her own little resurgence now, and kudos to her for getting onto Fox and Friends, I'm sure other broadcasts, where we discuss how outrageous she was. I think, yeah, she was distasteful. I think it goes against the conventions of the dinner, but she's on the tail end of her career.
Chances that the Obama administration will right now an apology 2 days later?
Well, no, he doesn't need to give an apology. He didn't say it. But this does not
You wanted him to come out with a statement.
Just a statement saying, I hope the tone changes and I hope we do better at the next dinner. The bottom line here is, even liberals like Lawrence O'Donnell of MSNBC were appalled at her behavior. Liberals I saw at the dinner were appalled at her behavior. This gives the lie to the fact that we want to change the tone in Washington.
Very interesting debate. All right, guys, thanks so much for getting up early and joining us today. We'll see you again soon.